in response to a Business Today survey asking people's opinion on the feasibility and need of lockdowns to prevent the spread of the virus, an overwhelming majority of the responses said that there should be no lockdown because it will lead to significant economic pain. Where do you yourself stand on this matter?
Thanks, Siddharth, for having me on the show. Yes, the concern that you shared is a real concern. The spread of Omicron has been rapid, but I think it's been milder than wave 2. So to that extent, people are not worrying as much as they did when wave 2 was spreading. There is certainly a concern on livelihoods. So if people feel that the risk to lives are less, they want to make sure that the livelihoods are not impacted. Because after 2 waves of COVID, a lot of livelihoods have been impacted, which is reflecting in a bit of fragility in the consumption. So I think it's not surprising that people don't want the lockdowns that they've seen, particularly in wave 1 and sometimes in wave 2. I also think industry is better prepared today to deal with it. Government is also more experienced, both at the central and the state level, and there's better coordination, or there can be better coordination between the central, state, and the governments and the industry to make sure that the economic impact of COVID wave 3 is not as significant. As we saw in wave 2 also, the economic impact was not as significant as wave 1. So if this is a concern, we also as citizens have to exercise restraint and avoid unnecessary risks to ourselves and to our families, and help the government to take care of COVID with the minimum lockdowns that are required.
We saw in the first wave and then the second wave the disproportionate impact on smaller businesses, the service sector. We are now seeing fresh restrictions which vary from state to state on small businesses, the health business, for example, in terms of the gyms and other restrictions, creeping curbs, weekend curfews. Is there a way to deal with this? Should the respective state governments who put in these curbs also at the same time announce some support measures for those sections of industry? You know, large companies like the one that you represent have the wherewithal. But for smaller businesses which barely survive and are on the low margin side, why shouldn't the state governments and the center provide them some support, immediate support?
Absolutely. I think your point is valid. If you look at the recovery post-COVID, many sectors have done well. Some sectors have struggled because they've been the most impacted by wave 1, wave 2, and now wave 3. Right? So our submission to the government has also been that the MSME sector needs to get the support that it's been getting. We need to continue with that support. High contact service sectors like the ones that you described, whether it's fitness, whether it is restaurants, hotels, tourism, aviation is just about coming back, etc. So some of these sectors need support, more than other sectors, and in fact, support can be directed to these sectors because some of the sectors don't need any support. So we agree with that. Whether what is it that can be done at the center and the state needs to be discussed with the local governments, but certainly as part of our budget proposals also, we've been saying that these are sectors which specifically need some support from the government.